The day I paid my sister's $5,000 tuition, I walked home believing I had done something meaningful. She hugged me, thanked me, and promised she'd never forget it. I expected at least a quiet moment of appreciation, not celebration. But when I opened the front door, something felt wrong. My bedroom door was wide open, my bed gone, my clothes shoved into trash bags, and the posters of my childhood ripped like old receipts. My mother didn't look surprised. She looked satisfied. Arms crossed, she said, "Your job is done. You're not a child anymore." The house I helped support no longer saw me as family. In a single breath, I wasn't a son. I was surplus. That day, I disappeared. Growing up, responsibility wasn't requested. It was expected. If someone needed money, I helped. If someone failed, I fixed. My father bragged about my reliability while taking half my salary every month. Relatives praised my maturity, yet none asked if I ever wanted rest. My sister loved introducing me as the sibling who always came through, but never once wondered what it cost me. In our home, love was measured in bills paid, favors granted, and sacrifices made quietly. That night, staring at my belongings stuffed in bags, clarity hit me like cold wind. I wasn't loved for who I was. I was valued for what I could provide. I wasn't their son. I was their contingency plan. The next morning, strangers carried furniture past me as if I were invisible. New curtains, a chandelier, and a desk I had never seen entered what used to be my room. My mother followed behind them, giving instructions with the enthusiasm of someone redesigning a hotel lobby. She proudly revealed they were converting my space into a guest suite for important visitors. My sister's room, untouched and overflowing with clothes she never paid for, remained sacred territory. My father, leaning on the banister, shrugged and said, "Don't be dramatic. You'll understand one day." Their actions weren't emotional, they were strategic. I wasn't part of the household anymore. I was an empty space they finally decided to monetize. That evening, they summoned me to the living room like a tenant facing eviction. My sister entered holding papers, her voice trembling with exaggerated sorrow. She revealed overdue credit cards, personal loans, and interest charges, numbers stacked like a collapsing tower. My parents didn't reprimand her. They shifted their attention to me, the financial fire extinguisher they believed they owned. My mother squeezed my hand and whispered, "God blessed you with wisdom. Use it." Responsibility wasn't a choice, it was a sentence. My father nodded, as if a verdict had been passed. My sister watched expectantly, confident I would rescue her again. That night, it became clear. To them, blood wasn't thicker than water. Debt was thicker than loyalty. When I refused to help, the room erupted. My mother accused me of abandoning the family, clutching her chest like my decision threatened her health. My father spoke about tradition, claiming real men never walk away from responsibility. My sister sobbed about ruined dreams and wasted potential, acting like her debt was my destiny. Nobody mentioned the $5,000 I had already paid. Nobody acknowledged the vacations I skipped or the nights I worked late to support them. Their arguments weren't spontaneous. They were rehearsed, polished, and weaponized. They didn't want support. They wanted obedience. My refusal wasn't selfishness. It was self-preservation. Yet in their eyes, I wasn't protecting myself. I was betraying my role as the family's unpaid provider. I didn't yell. I didn't negotiate. I gathered my things quietly, folding clothes they had deemed disposable. My silence unsettled them more than anger could. My father smirked, certain I would crumble. My mother sighed dramatically, convinced I would apologize. My sister looked offended, as though my independence endangered her comfort. When I reached the door, I paused and said, "You taught me I don't belong here." The words froze them like ice. I stepped outside without looking back. The night air felt unfamiliar, yet honest. For the first time in my life, I wasn't someone's solution. Leaving wasn't an escape, it was liberation. Families break people quietly. Freedom begins the moment you refuse to stay broken. My new life started in a one-bedroom apartment with peeling paint and thin walls, but peace echoed louder than furniture ever could. I worked harder than before, yet the exhaustion felt different. It belonged to me. I built a small business from scratch, learned new skills, and celebrated victories small enough to ignore, but big enough to change me. No phone calls demanding money. No guilt packaged as love. My income grew steadily, not because I was lucky, but because no one drained me anymore. I became someone I recognized, not a tool disguised as family. Those years were my rebirth. And while they never asked how I survived, I learned something essential. Silence can be healing. One calm evening, the phone rang. The number was familiar, but the intention wasn't. My mother's voice trembled, not with regret, but desperation. My sister had fallen deeper into debt. Creditors were threatening legal action, and suddenly, I was valuable again. The room they remodeled was waiting, like a trap disguised as hospitality. They wanted the boy they dismissed to return as the man who could save them. I listened silently, feeling nothing but clarity. When my mother asked, "Can you help us?" I answered, "No." The silence that followed was the sound of consequences arriving. You can forgive people who hurt you by accident, but you don't rescue those who taught you how to drown.